Ryan McGinness, and we're in my studio in Chinatown, and I had coffee for breakfast and maybe a donut. Infinity, yeah. Worlds within worlds, infinity. That was the idea. Universal symbols. A visual language. Words. Those words strung together make sentences. Sentences to form paragraphs. And what I'm trying to do is use that in an art context. One of the things I'm trying to do with my work is use a visual language that has historically resided in the realm of design and the kind of imagery that you would not normally attribute an author to. These kind of anonymous, clean forms. The simplest example is like the bathroom. You know, kind of standardized universal bathroom icons. It's a man and a woman, and they're so much a part of our visual vocabulary and culture now that they don't symbolize man and woman anymore, nor do they really symbolize bathroom anymore. But they're just objects and forms in and of themselves. The symbols are emptied, at the very least, of their original meaning and context, of course, because pulling things out or even like redrawing and creating new things in that same kind of anonymous, kind of authoritative form, which is something I've always just been drawn towards and actually chose to study and then practice. There's an exhibition coming up in Paris, and the paintings ship out next week. So that's why we're working in 2 shifts. You know, working throughout the night. Get these things done. Process is extremely important to me, not only in when the paintings start to develop and grow, but also beforehand. And there's a real sketch refinement process that goes into those. So there's really kind of 2 kind of bigger picture processes. So the start is just kind of general ideas for the composition, maybe like 2 parts growing and meeting, or kind of a pile, or more like a pyramid, or just a circle. So once we kind of put down the final color, like you can see this one in the front, got a little more refined once the color was laid down. That's the evolution. That's kind of, you can almost reverse engineer it. So that's an example of one and a little more direction from the beginning, a little more straightforward. And there's another kind of process, and that's a process that's been developing, but I've kind of gotten a better handle on within the past couple of years as I've settled into certain kind of paints and certain kind of finishing process. The polyurethane coating I use is a kind of a UV protective coating as well. And that's a concern of mine. So all those kind of craft issues are part of the process. The squeegee is my brush, and the pull is the stroke. A lot of people who help me out who say they want to learn how to silk screen. This is not how you silk screen at all. I don't use hinges. I'm not concerned with registration. Sometimes I'll mix colors actually on the screen. This is not how you do it. And that's all a very conscious effort, and that's all after having done it the right way. Yeah, and this is a cliche. You gotta learn the rules before you can break them, and that's definitely something I've gone through, and it just kind of evolved to kind of a free form process based more on intuition. It's a little more fluid, and like you see, I kind of go with the mistakes, and it's more like a traditional painting process with like the abstract expressionists, where they'll make a mark and then respond to that mark, and it builds and builds, as opposed to it all being kind of planned out. So there is a constant dialogue between me and these surfaces going on. Grew up playing soccer. It's always been a big part of my life. Still play 2 days a week, 8:30 in the morning. Just needed a soccer ball, so I made one. So I also make shirts, bags, skateboards, books. And what I like to do is make a whole bunch of different kinds of things. First and foremost, because I simply like making those things. And secondly, because I like making things that exist on a range of price points. From one-of-a-kind, more expensive paintings and installations to mass-produced objects. I think making art has a lot to do with having faith. And a lot of these paintings, we're talking about mistakes before, just kind of going with the mistake and having faith that a better solution will emerge, or you just kind of keep at it and keep working on the painting until it's done, and you just know when it's done. But to have that kind of foresight and belief that the real work could kind of come to fruition can be scary, but I think ultimately it's worth it.